Hi everyone. So in today's session, I'm going to explain and demo on some of the built-in delegates provided by the C# language specification, okay, or the programming language, okay. So these are very handy and useful. You are not required to create a new delegate types for your requirements because these particular built-in delegates will satisfy most of our requirements because they are generic in nature, okay. So these particular delegates will accept their parameters in a generic way, and also you can specify the generics for its return types also. So without wasting much time, let's start with it now. So the first one is the built-in delegates provided by C# to perform actions which won't return any value but accepts 0 to 16 generic arguments. Okay, so action is a kind of delegate which won't return any value. You can see public delegate void action. Okay, so there is a action delegate which doesn't return any value, which won't accept any parameter also. So for most of our requirements, our method requirements, okay, so there will be some methods which won't require any value to be passed in and any value to be returned from the function. So for that purpose, we have public delegate void action. Okay, so no return the basically the delegate provides a signature for methods which won't return any value, won't accept any parameters. And again, action delegate which is accepting one parameter, so it is basically in, which is an input parameter, so you can specify whatever type against which you want to create this delegate. Okay, so t, it's a generic and it won't return any value. So action based delegates usually won't return any value but they accept up to 16 arguments, okay, which are generic in nature. So you can pass int, bool, double, reference types like employee, entity, order, whatever you want, you can pass, okay, to this action and make use of this delegate to point to the methods basically. Okay, so that's one example for the action. I'm going to demonstrate with a code also. So this is all about action. Okay, so it will cater most of our requirements. Okay, most of our requirements getting satisfied. See, up to 16 arguments, guys. Okay, too much. Okay, so a method should usually allow only 6 parameters. Okay, it's a best practice to pass only 6 parameters to a method. If you send more than 6 parameters, right, basically you are coupling the implementation inside that method. It's doing a lot of things. Okay, so anyway, Microsoft has given a flexibility of up to 16 parameters, but we should stick to 6 parameters for any method. Okay, it's a good practice. So that's all about action delegate. Okay, so let me give you a small demo. So I have written a simple program. So you can see here. Okay, so there is a car class where I have created my own delegate, private delegate void speed alert handler int speed. Okay, and I have associated it with the event, basically private event speed alert handler speed alert. So very simple. I have attached a handler for my event, and I have a handler method on speed alert. What should happen on high speed? And when driving the car, if the speed exceeds more than 80 kilometer per hour, then I will fire my event, okay, with the value of speed, and it will show that over here the speed limit exceeded at this kilometer per hour. Please slow down. Okay. So very simple program. So whenever you are doing a code review and you find that if your developers are basically creating some new delegates, so please do provide the review comments in such a way that so they can utilize the existing delegates, okay, provided by the C sharp. So what we can do here, so instead of using this particular delegate over here, right, I can do this very I can do some simple changes to this. Okay, let's comment this. So instead of giving this, I will do action of int. That's it. No need to create a new delegate. Use the built-in delegate action of int. Okay, so it accepts one parameter of type int. Okay, so now no compilation error, nothing. Okay, so my method which is receiving that speed alert event notification, right, it is returning nothing. same as our action, it is returning nothing but accepting one parameter which is of int. So if I run this program, it should work as it is, as it was working before. So that's what, till 81 kilometer per hours everything, oh yeah, till 61 kilometer per hour everything was okay, but the moment he exceeded 80 kilometer per hour speed, he started getting the speed alert notification in his car. Okay, so that's it about action delegates, the built-in action delegates provided by C sharp. And it is not only limited to passing only int or any kind of other data, as I had already explained. These are basically generic in nature. These delegates support generic parameters, so you can pass int, bool, built-in types. Okay, you can pass some built-in types also like employee. Okay, up to you as per your requirement. Okay, so this is the flexibility given by the built-in delegate provided by C sharp. Okay, so whenever you see this kind of practices where people are creating their own delegates, then you can basically suggest them to make use of built-in delegates. Okay, well, that's about the actions basically. Okay, now let's move on to the functions, which basically accept parameters and return a value. Okay, again, same like action, the built-in delegate provided by C sharp to perform functionalities which return value and accept 0 to 16 arguments are over here. You can see public delegate t result function out t result. Okay, so basically it returns a generic result value. Okay, and it also specifies that as a out keyword, it specifies that this particular delegate returns a t result value. Okay, so again, the next one, this particular delegate returns a t result value, but it accepts one parameter of type t. So you can pass any t here, and out as before it returns one value like that. You can see it supports up to 16 arguments to be passed to a function. Okay, 16 arguments passed to a function from here, sorry, t1 to t16, and you can return one value out t result. So this a t result can be a primitive type like int, char, bool, decimal, or it can be a reference type. Okay, it's up to you how you want to make use of. So that's all about the functions. So let me show you a small example for functions also. So for the func's demo, okay, the func delegate or function delegate, I have created a delegate with the input parameter being t being string and out the result being, okay, that's what out t result being bool. And what I did, I created a variable myfunc equal to string dot is null or empty, the built-in method provided by string. Now in console.writeLine, is my value abc null or empty? Okay, what I will do, I will trigger my delegate, the func delegate, and you will see this result. Is my value abc null or empty? False. No, it's not null or empty, it's a value, so that's why it's returning false. Like this, if you have some other requirements, like you want to pass some string, you want to pass some integer, you want to pass some decimal, and then check some value. Okay, you can specify your method which accepts string, int, and decimal as parameters, and it will return some boolean value as a result, or let it return some other value also apart from boolean. Say let it return a decimal as a value. Okay, so like this you can make use of the various variations provided by the func delegate. Okay, so that's all about the func delegates basically. So let's move on now. The built-in event handler delegate to handle any kind of events. Yes, one best approach is, again, this is one more optimization. Okay, so when you are handling events right in your code, okay, so one more optimization is, instead of using an action of int, you can use another built-in delegate called event handler. I think most of the events, the built-in events being propagated by .NET, right? Either it will use this event handler basically. Okay, it, see, both are available. You can use just a event handler okay, which basically accepts a method having two parameters, object sender and as you can see, and system dot event args e, whatever event related argument you can pass, and it doesn't return anything. So let's make use of that. I will do the code change, or you can use a generic implementation of the same. You can specify what kind of event arg you want to specify. Okay, any type which is inheriting from your event args, basically you can specify over here. Okay, so let me do the code change quickly. So I have done some changes now in order to incorporate the event handler to my event. Okay, so even better approach, I would say, because you are making use of a built-in time, and look at the flexibility it is providing. Okay, you can specify what event args you want to send as a generic parameter. You can send int, employee, order, whatever your custom types are there, you can send, specify them as a custom type over here, or you can specify primitive types like int and all. So when I basically trigger this event, right? So what I have to do now, I'm not only required to send the I, but I need to send the sender object, who is sending this event. Okay, who is the sender. So what I will do, when I invoke this event, right, this dot speed alert, okay, question mark dot invoke, which is checking for null or not, dot invoke, I have to send the this. In this case I'm sending this because my car is sending this event. That's why I will put the this as a reference, okay, object reference here. But in your case, if you want to send other value from here, then you can specify some other objects also, which are basically sending this event. Okay, and then the actual parameter I, okay, which I specified over here. So if you see the handler method, now it will contain object sender int speed like this. Okay, object sender over here, object sender, and t event args e. In our case, t event args is int, so it will be int. So matching. That's why it will accept this handler for this delegate, and I will basically print the event was sent by sender.get type, and then the usual message. So if you see the console, now it will say that the event was sent by deepdive.net.program plus car. Can you see? Okay, so it will basically tell you which type is sending that event. So in the deepdive.net namespace, inside a program class, and inside program class, it seems I have specified, uh, yeah, yeah, inside program class I have specified my, what's that, yeah, inside the program class only, yes, this particular class has been specified. So yeah, so it will be uh, denoting like this: deepdive.net dot program. Inside program I have my public class car. Inside class program, it's a nested class, that's why it is using a plus notation. Okay, so it will get you, it will give you the sender's information also. This is very useful in UI programming, and if you would have seen in WPF or any Windows Forms based applications, whenever you receive a notification from an event, from a button, list box, or whatever UI controls, you get the sender as well as the event arcs, okay, to properly handle it. So let's move on to the next, the predicate. Now, what is a predicate? Okay, predicate represents the method that defines a set of criteria and determines whether the specified object meets those criteria or not. So basically, this can be achieved using our func delegates only by specifying the t result as a bool, and then in the parameters specifying whatever type you want, but they have specifically provided a predicate. Okay, so let me show you an example. Okay, how it works. So what predicate represents is the method that defines a set of criteria and determines whether the specified object meets those criteria or not. So if I pass a predicate, if I pass an employee object to my predicate, okay, then my predicate or the function, if I have a requirement to check if the passed employee is a manager or a developer, so I can check there and I return a value, true or false. Okay, if he is a manager, true; if he is not a manager, then false. So that's what the use of predicates. So I have added a very simple example. I created a predicate. I created a new class called employee. Okay. So employee has name and role. So predicate of employee I created is manager. So it will check whether a supplied employee is manager or not. So what I will do? So in this lambda expression, I will check if m dot role is equal to manager. Okay. Then I created one employee object with role manager, and then in console dot write line, is employee with this name a manager, then it will basically, what it will do, it is basically triggering my delegate. Okay, whatever delegate I created here, a predicate based delegate. Okay, so is manager, I will pass a employee object and trigger that delegate, and I should get the result. So when I run the program, see, is employee Manoj a manager? True, yes, because the role is manager. So that's all about the built-in delegates provided by the C sharp guys. So please do remember, make use of this built-in delegates, because as you would have seen, they will satisfy most of our requirements. Okay, no need to create new ones. Okay, and it is very easy to maintain also. Okay, if you keep on creating new delegates, right, it's like adding a redundant delegates in your system, even if they are doing, even if they are serving the same purpose. Okay, just to avoid that, make use of the existing delegates, and yeah, enhance your code by using this built-in delegates provided by C Sharp. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.